All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going hunting for an invisible thief, a literal energy vampire that's silently draining power right out of your solar setup. We're going to completely flip the script on how you look at your system's wiring, taking it from, just an afterthought to the absolute beating heart of your high-current DC architecture.
So let me ask you something right out of the gate. When current flows through your cables, and you measure a drop in voltage from one end to the other, where exactly does that missing voltage go? I mean, it doesn't just vanish into thin air, right? That lost electrical energy actually transforms, and if we aren't careful, it turns into something incredibly dangerous for your entire setup. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the voltage drop myth, move into the 100-amp reality test, break down the math behind the heat, uncover the hidden dangers in connections, and wrap up with safe system engineering.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the voltage drop myth, and what most folks get completely wrong. There is a massive contrast between theory and reality here. Most mainstream advice just points you to simple wire resistance charts, generic tips to just use thicker cable, or uses theoretical household AC examples drawing maybe 10 to 30 amps. But wow, the high current reality of off-grid solar is a whole different beast. A standard 12-volt or 24-volt system can easily blast past 100 amps of continuous draw. We aren't talking about a slightly dim light bulb. We're talking about extreme heat cycles and sudden inverter shutdowns that can completely cripple your power supply.
Relying on that basic theory ignores a really dangerous, vicious cycle. It goes like this. Voltage drop is energy loss. That energy loss physically turns into heat inside your wire. Now, that heat increases the cable's electrical resistance. And higher resistance? Well, it just creates even more heat. If your cable is undersized for heavy load, it doesn't just perform poorly, it literally bakes itself.
Moving on to Section 2, the 100-amp reality test. Let's talk about measuring your true loss.
Okay, so here is the exact practical procedure to stop guessing and start knowing for sure. Grab a clamp meter to verify your current and a multimeter for your voltage. Step 1, measure your reference voltage directly at the battery terminals. Step 2, measure the voltage at the load end, like right at your inverter, while that heavy current is actively flowing. Step 3, calculate the difference. This simple 3-step routine is exactly how you find your true voltage drop under a real load. Picture a very common scenario you might actually see on your meter. Your battery reading sits at a beautifully healthy 12.8 volts. But down the line, your inverter is only reading 12.3 volts. That missing half volt hasn't disappeared. It was burned off trying to overcome the resistance of your cable. Because of this half-volt drop, your inverter thinks system voltage is lower than what the battery is actually pushing out. Your cables are essentially playing a trick on your system.
And this is absolutely crucial because this lost voltage has real-world, highly frustrating consequences. Because the inverter sees that artificially low 12.3 volts, its low voltage cutoff triggers way earlier than it should, shutting your whole system down. It tanks your appliance performance, wastes your precious battery capacity as pure heat, and, this is the worst part, creates his false belief that your super expensive battery is weak or dying. You end up blaming a perfectly healthy battery when actually your cables are the real culprit.
All right, Section 3, the math behind the heat. Let's quickly explain Ohm's law. We have to touch on the foundational rule here, Ohm's law. Voltage drop equals current multiplied by resistance. Let's break down the physics real quick. Every single cable out there, even the thickest, purest copper, has some inherent electrical resistance. As your current, the I in that formula, increases, your voltage drop inevitably spikes right alongside it. It's a direct relationship that constantly drags your efficiency down the harder you push your system.
Now pay close attention to this next part because it's the real kicker. This is the most vital piece of the power loss formula, and it explains why high current systems are just so demanding. Because the current is squared in the power loss equation, doubling your current doesn't just double your heat loss. No way. It actually creates 4 times the heat loss. This is why a wire that feels perfectly cool at 20 or 50 amps can suddenly become dangerously hot at 100 amps. Without even realizing it, you've essentially wired up an incredibly expensive, highly inefficient space heater.
When we apply this mathematically, calculating your percentage loss is actually beautifully simple. It's just voltage drop divided by system voltage times 100. So if you run your test and find a 0.4-volt drop on a 12-volt system, you take 0.4 divided by 12, multiply by 100, and boom, you get a 3.3% loss. And guys, this isn't just some abstract math problem. This is exactly how much of your hard-earned battery efficiency you are burning off as pure heat right into the air around your cables.
Next up, Section 4, Hidden Dangers in Connections, those sneaky hidden resistance points. Have you ever bought top-of-the-line, ultra-thick copper wire, rigged it all up, and found your system is still underperforming? The culprit is almost certainly connection resistance. This is the resistance added by loose lugs, poor crimps, corroded terminals, or even damaged fuse holders. The harsh reality here is that your expensive, massive copper wire is totally useless if you have oxidized or loose connections acting as giant electrical bottlenecks at either end of the run.
I want you to really soak in this quote from our source material. Sometimes a single bad connection creates more voltage drop than the entire cable run. Keep this rule of thumb front and center whenever you're troubleshooting a sluggish system. You could literally have 10 feet of flawless, oversized cable, but just one improperly crimped lug or a slightly loose bolt on your bus bar. It'll cripple the entire circuit.
So how do you catch this stuff before disaster strikes? Use your senses. Pay attention to the physical warning signs of heat. After running a heavy load test, get in there and physically inspect your setup. Feel for warm insulation. Look for discolored metal terminals. That's a classic sign of oxidation from extreme heat. Feel for soft or squishy insulation and use your nose to sniff out unusual odors or look for visible burn marks. These aren't just little system quirks. These are blaring sirens of extreme voltage drop and imminent fire hazards.
Finally, Section 5, Safe System Engineering. Let's talk practical design rules. Engineering for success really starts with a mindset shift. You absolutely must focus on voltage drop right alongside your basic amp ratings. A cable might survive the current without melting into a puddle, sure, but it could still be creating massive, unacceptable power losses. You've got to use correctly sized cables, install the proper fuses to protect your system, use high-quality lugs and crimps, and crucially, always test your connections under a live load. By sticking to these safety-first principles, you minimize heat, maximize your stored energy, and keep your inverter running flawlessly.
So, that brings us to the ultimate question. Have you ever actually measured your voltage drop under a real heavy load? I challenge you today. Stop guessing based on generic charts. Grab your clamp meter, grab your multimeter, run a real-world test on your own setup, and confront your actual voltage drop. You might just find that missing performance you've been looking for the whole time. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious and keep learning.